Alright folks, this is a 98 GMC Jimmy. Alright, customer complaint is that sometimes the dashboard kind of like flashes on and off, and they told me that is an ignition switch. Somebody said it was an ignition switch. So I'm here to do an ignition switch on it. I'm going to show you where the ignition switch is. It is in the steering column right here. This is the piece right here. It's right below the ignition cylinder itself. Okay, it's clipped on in there. It's got some wires that's clipped up on top, and then it runs with a harness, wire tied down and around, and it goes into this side over here. So there's a big connector over here, okay, with a little nut there. It's a 7mm nut. So how I got to this point is you got to take all these panels off. Now some of these panels were off already, so I don't know exactly where they are, but basically this here was a cover with some screws on it. Then there was the tilt knob over here, just plugs right out. So that's the way I got it. Other than that, you got this cluster over here at the panel that goes around your knees and stuff. So basically, you start with the lower panel here. The lower panel here looks like it's got about 3 or 4 clips. And then you got this one for the map light. This map light actually goes to the panel that's up here. So what I did was I just dropped this panel down below it, rested it right underneath the brake pedal, which is fine. And then the next thing was this panel over here. This panel has a bunch of clips over here. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, maybe 1 or 2 on the bottom. Then you have to disconnect the emergency brake cable. Okay, I'm going to show you over here. The emergency brake cable is right here. It's hooked up right to the side. What I do is I got a little screwdriver, and you slide this little grommet off, and then this just goes on with a little hook that's over here. And it's a little opening. So basically you're just gonna lift it up over the opening, out it comes, and then you're gonna fish this cable out of a hole right over there, and this whole panel here will come out in your hands. Okay, put that off to the side. Like I said, a lot of these panels were already off already, so I'm going by what I see. Then you got this thing, which is a knee bolstering thing or whatever. It's made out of metal. Goes on with 4 bolts, 10mm bolts. Okay, take the 10mm bolts off, and now you have that piece that comes out. Like I said, that panel that goes here has this little map light, so you just want to disconnect it. I usually put the screws back in so you don't lose it. Same thing with over there. Whatever screw I took off, I put it back in there. Okay, so now I'm up to this point over here. There's actually a cover that goes on top of this. Okay, and that is a Torx. Okay, it's a reverse Torx, so it's actually an external torque. So they call it an E5. There's an E5 bolt. It goes right next to the cylinder, straight up, and that screws into the little plastic cover. So once you take that E5 screw out, you want to tilt the steering wheel down as far as it goes. Okay, and then you can take the cover off, and this is where we are. All right, it's wire tied, as you can see, all the way around, tied together. And this is the connector right there. Okay, that's the connector right there, and it's got 2 other connectors, one on the left and one on the right, and we're going to separate that from the ignition switch. Okay, then you're going to run it up through here, and I'm going to show you you need like a little pin or a little oil tool to push in over here to release that, and that will slide out. And there's 2 wires over here. These 2 wires are attached to the top over here like that. Okay, and they will come out, they will pop out. You just gotta get a little oil or a little pick and just pick them out. Okay, so we're gonna work on that bottom piece right now. So let's get a 7mm. I'm gonna take that screw out. All right, so this is the switch that the customer gave me. I'm not sure what brand it is, but that is the one. Okay, this is the switch. that plugs up into it. This is the gear, okay, that attaches to the ignition lock. So when you turn it, it turns this gear into lock, accessory, and on. These are the 2 wires that I showed you that go on top of the cylinder. This is the wire harness that runs down along the steering column to the bottom. And then this is the big plug with that nut in the back, okay? And if you notice, right here, there's a channel here and a channel here. So there's another connector that goes here and another connector that goes here, okay? And the way they come out is you just stick a little screwdriver in there, pry it open, pass this little clip here, and pass that little clip, and the thing removes, okay? Just remember which side is which goes on which side. I think one's a gray one, one's a black one. But you'll see it once you pull out, okay? I'm not sure. They could probably be accidentally installed backwards. It could be. But listen, take pictures, people. Otherwise, watch the video. Keep an eye on it, okay? But like I said, this is here is the gear, okay? You got to make sure that it is in the right position when you take it off, okay? Because this thing does move. Okay, see that? Left, park, ignition, and then the run is the one at the very end. Okay, makes a nice little click detent, which is good. Some of the cheap ones will not do that. So you have to line this up the way yours came off. So if you look at this one's pretty much, this gap here is pretty much straight up. So if that's the way you took it out, that's the way you're going to put it back in. If you have it this way, okay, put it back in that way. Otherwise, you're going to ruin this whole alignment of this, and you end up putting the switch in the wrong position. Okay, so when you take it out, don't move the gear. Look at exactly where yours is. If you have to move it this way more to match it, then that's what you got to do. Okay, put it back exactly the way you take it out. All right, let's go. All right, so after using your 7mm socket to take that bolt off, okay, right down here on the bottom, this whole connector will come out in your hand. Okay, once it comes out in your hand, gotta be careful you don't mess up all those other wires over here. This yellow one is entangled in there too. All right, if you flip it over, you notice what I told you about 2 connectors, on the left and the right. Okay, I'm gonna flip it over this way, people. Okay, and that's what it looks like. There's a gray one and there's a black one. So if you go this way to it, the gray one is on the passenger side, the black one is on the driver's side. So try to remember that. Okay, so we're gonna have to separate these, and once we separate them, they will slide right out. Okay, so you need a little screwdriver. You stick it in there with that little prong there, and these little buggers will come right out. So just remember, okay, if you want to take a picture of it, the colors, okay, it's actually shaped in such a way that you cannot really put it upside down because you'll be fighting it. So it pretty much naturally falls just the way it is. Because, listen, they've been together since 1998. Okay, so that's going to be hard to get rid of them. All right, so I'm going to stick a little pick in there by that little clip. This thing should bend up away and it'll slide right out. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to show you one of them, since you need 2 hands to do it. So you take a little pick right there, lift up the connector, and it slides right out. There you go. Okay, there it is. That's a little tab that's holding on to that little clip. So you just want to raise it up a little bit away from this clip and slide it out. All right, so let's continue and get the other side done. And then we're going to cut all these wire ties that attach to that ignition switch until we get up to there. Okay. All right, so once you separate the 2 over there, there are some wire ties you have to clip off. So there's one here that takes off this little cloth sheath. Then there's a clip over here. You just pull on it, squeeze the tab. There's a tab, okay, and this piece will come off loose. Then there's another one up here. Cut that one off, and that will come out. You notice that this is going to swing out here. Okay, so I'll swing out here. Then you got like I said, you got the 2 little pins we have to push in over here, and then there's 2 wire connectors up on top. And yes, it is greasy. All right, so let's do that. Let's go on top. We're gonna have to tilt this wheel down so we can get to it. Tilt it down without the knob. Just stick a little screwdriver in here. Pull it towards you, like that, and then pull the steering wheel down. Okay. Once it's in the down position, now we're gonna go work on the little clips up on top for those wires with a little pick. All right, so let's do that. All right, now as for these little tabs, okay, this one right here, just push this little tab in and this wire will come right out. Okay, got that one? This one is a little bit more puzzling. Okay, this one, if you look over here, okay, has a little tab. So the idea is to go from the top, take your pick and just pull that tab off for a little bit, and then you can turn it. But in real life, it's a bit of a hassle because you can't really see, you can't really turn, but eventually you will get it, and then give it a little quarter of a turn of a twist, and the thing comes right out. Okay, so I'll show you the tab on this one. See it? So the whole idea is try to get that little pick in there to pull it away from that locking tab, and then give a little quarter of a turn and it comes right out. Okay, because this little piece here actually hits this, so it can't come straight out. It's got to turn a little bit on the inside and then pop right out. All right, and now we're going to work on the switch itself. Like I said, the switch itself has these 2 little holes there, one here and one here. You take a pick and you push it in. They're like spring-loaded locking tabs. So once you push them in one at a time, the whole switch assembly will pop right out. So what we're going to do, instead of having 2 picks and 3 hands, we're going to pick one hole, push it in, pull it down a little bit so it goes past that hole, and then stick it in the other hole, and we're going to get that little bugger out. Okay. All right, I'm going to show you these little pins in here. I'm trying to get my little headlight here to show you. A little rough. Okay. It's a white one right there on top, and then a black one on the other side right there. Okay. So we can try to do this for you. I'm dropping my phone. Dun dun dun. Of course not. It ain't that easy, folks. Ain't that easy. Let's try to do it this way. Nope. But anyway, so I can do it this way just to show you. Okay, it's a little tab right here. Spring load it. You push it in and out. There's a little white tab. It's also spring loaded. Watch this. See it going in and out. Okay, that's spring loaded, right through that hole. Once you release it, then this whole switch is going to come right out in your hands. I'll do my other hand here. Okay, like I said, when you take it out of your hands, I have the whole assembly now. I'm going to have to clock that switch to make sure it's in the same position when you put it back in. Okay, and look at that position that it's in. Okay, this wide tab is all the way towards this bottom, so that's in the off position. Okay, so that's where we're going to do it. And if you notice on the new switch is going to be a little off, so I can show it to you. See, the new switch is off. Okay, so we're going to move this one down so that it's in the same position. Let's do that. Hi, buddy. My buddy Peter helped me. There you go. See? I turned it so the fat gap gear is in the same position like the old one. So now when I pop this in, it'll be all lined up and we'll be good to go. Okay, see it? See the gap? All right, we're about to push this one back in. All right, here we go. Gonna line it up. Okay, double check. Stick it in here. We're gonna push it up. Click. You hear that? So now we know it's in. So now we're gonna go plug up the other wires. The black one towards the front, and this one towards the back. Okay, the front one's easy. Remember, the clip was towards the front, so I'm gonna turn this around, stick it in like this. Clip. Make sure that it's on. I'm gonna go for the next one. Oh, buddy, it's raining. All right, let me put the little doggy in. All right, Peter, let's go inside, buddy. Okay. Say hi, folks on YouTube. Thanks for joining my channel. Yay! All right, so this one here, basically, it's just a quarter turn, and you twist it on. Let me see. Go this way with the wire towards the passenger side. I'm just gonna turn it, and it clicked in. Okay, that's it. It's supposed to be loose like that because that's what the clip is holding it there for. It's like a little button. I'm not sure exactly what that is used for, but that is good to go. From there, from there, from there, and now we're down to the bottom. Okay, it runs across here. Make sure it goes into that little gap there. Okay, we'll do the wire ties and everything later. We are going to assemble the switch in here. And we're going to snap those little things in there. Okay, gray to the passenger, black towards the driver's side. All right, so let's go and do that. All right, there you go. You remember the position. You put them in. They slide from the outside in. Okay, and just click them in there. That's one. That's two. Okay, it's all clicked. It's all together. It's all one assembly. Okay, remember I lifted up this way before, so the gray is on the passenger side, black is on the driver's side. So now we're going to spin this around like this, and we're going to screw it up right into that connector right there, and we're going to tighten up that 7mm bolt. All right, so I'm going to do that for you, and then we can actually test the car and start it up. Okay, because the rest of it is basically just panels and the emergency brake cable. So I'm going to put that in there, make sure it's square, and then tighten it up. Okay, let's do it. So you plug it in there, separate the wire a little bit so that you can get to the 7mm in there, and you're going to just tighten it up. I don't think this is a torque spec, people, so let's do German specs. Good and tight. Here you go, good and tight. Okay, if you want, we'll redirect this here through that round piece here. Okay, there's a round piece here. Go there, come around this way, go around there with that clip there, and we'll put the little black sleeve over it too. Okay, all right, there you go. Put on the little clip. Remember this clip from before? All right, got like a little right there. See how it hangs in there? Just got to squeeze the little tab and stick out through the other way. So I did that first. Put the sleeve back on, wire tied it. This one, put it around that little turn. I don't remember if this was on the inside or the outside, but either way, I wire tied it to make sure it ain't going nowhere. And that's it. This is your ignition switch. It is in. It is done. And basically, put the panels back in reverse. Right, we're gonna put that metal knee bolster in there with the 4 bolts. Okay, and then you got the panel that goes on the outside with the emergency brake cable, and you got to put this dome light back on. Then you got this bottom piece over here with the screws, but like I said, I don't know what the guy did with the screws. I'll look around the car, maybe he did the job and it's somewhere around here. Then there was another panel that went over there. Forgot about that. And then don't forget the top panel with the little T5 screw that goes in over here. Okay, that covers this area. And then the car is good to go. Let's see, do I have a key? I have a key. How about we try to start this little bug, guys? Like I said, I'm not sure what the original problem was, but they did tell me, let's change the ignition switch. So here we go. Oops, I'll get my foot on the brake pedal. All right. Starts and runs. Let me shut it off. Push it in, make sure there's accessory. Yes, because the radio is on. Okay, so we got accessory. That off, because the key comes in and out. Click, click. And that's the run. Okay? So that's it. You guys want to hang out and put these covers on? You sure can. You're more than welcome to. But I know some of you guys are just going to shut off and say, all right, see ya. See you around, Charlie. The job is done. All right? If you think this is a good video, say something in the comments, people. All right? You want a thumbs up? Give me a thumbs up. I don't think I have a video that have a lot of thumbs up because I really don't ask for thumbs up. I just ask for people to make a nice comment. Okay? I will continue. If not, thanks for watching. Ciao. All right, there we go. Now it's time to tighten up the T5 bolt, which is right up in here. Okay, I'm going to tighten that up. That is the one for the top cover. Okay, that's what's going to tighten up this top cover. And of course, we put the bottom cover later. Okay. Then it's time to put this knee bolster on the metal piece with the 4 10mm bolts, and that will cover that up. Okay. Oh, and by the way, when you're putting this knee bolster off, when you were taking it off on the left side, you get the 2 little nuts. If you drop a nut and you don't hear it hit the ground or the mat, just want to let you know there's a little channel here. Okay, right there. Just follow this along. There's a little U channel that goes like this on a turn. The nut falls in there. So you could be pulling your hair out looking for the nut and it's not there. It's in that U channel and you can hardly get your finger in there. So you got to use a little magnet and try to get it out. Just want to let you know that. Okay? And for the hole, for the emergency brake, there it is. You got to stick it in there and then attach it underneath. So I'm going to show you underneath where that is over here. Okay? The little grommet clips onto this piece right here. All right, you see it? Just push it in, and then the other part, the stop actually, at the end of the cable, actually hooks onto that. Just put it up and over that little backwards J, okay? And that'll be your parking brake assembly. Then whatever screws that you can find, you put this panel back on, okay? All right, so we're putting this bottom cover on, okay? The bottom cover, this side is broken. Okay, but this side still has a little hook. So basically you're going to tilt this cover down, hook it in the back, which is to the top cover, and then come back around and tuck it under the steering wheel. Then in here there's supposed to be 2 screws, one here, one here. It's a T25, it's a Torx head, looks like a machine screw. But I only find one in the car. So I picked the one in the middle to go into. Definitely need one over here to hold this cover on here. All right. As for the tilt knob, it just pulls right out and snap it right back in. All right. So now we're going to off to do this panel here. Got some screws here. Guess we're going to have to figure out which screws go where, because I have no clue. But we'll see. All right. We'll put it all together. We're going to stick this cable down into that hole over there and hook up the emergency brake. But afterward, we're going to put that on first. Or should I put it on last? Nah, it doesn't matter. Put it on now because that's the way it was. Alright, so poke it through the hole for the emergency parking brake cable. There it is. It just sits up over that little reverse J hook, and then snap in the little rubber grommet there, and you are good to go. Okay, let's try it. Check the operation. That's it. Alright, now we'll put this panel on. By the way, while you're playing with that, just snap one end of this on. Otherwise, this thing is going to bop you in the head. Ask me how I know. Alright, you know what? I'm going to put this map light in here now while I still can. Alright. Alright, so basically just 7 millimeters all the way around, people. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the bottom here, you get 1, 2, 3. I loosened that one up, 4. And then the one all the way in the back. Okay? And that's it. It's all back together. Just missing the one little machine screw that holds this one together. No idea where it is. I don't see it anywhere in the car. I don't see it in the cup. But maybe it's missing it. Who knows? But let's check it again one more time, and we call it a day. There you go. All right, off and running. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Let's hit the brake release. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Ciao.